We're taking on the Ultimate Monster Hunter Challenge, the Platinum Trophy in Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds is a self-contained experience, meaning it is a fantastic place for us to start our trophy hunting journey. We play as Geralt of Rivia.
Hear about the contract? Really got an imp problem? Or is that just an imp perfection in the notice?
And alongside our trusty Palico, who is played by Beerus. We are a part of the Hunters Guild, which is a governing body for hunts and explorations in the world of Monster Hunter. We are commissioned on an expedition joined by Gemma the Smithy and Alma the Handler to reunite a lost boy named Nata and his seemingly lost village. Nata was discovered at the end of the Forbidden Lands, a landscape which is uncharted for over 1,000 years that has been thought to be uninhabited. This was after he fled from a terrifying monster that we no doubt will meet later in the game. Launching into our expedition, we spot a girl in distress. We do an epic leap onto a secret and gain control of our character for the first time. Gemma launches our weapon at us, which enables us to parry the monster away. When speaking to the girl, we discover she has a brother that requires our assistance. There's 14 mastercrafted weapons available in Monster Hunter Wilds. Let's have a brief look at each of them. We select the longsword, as who doesn't want to be the world's best swordsman? Investigating with our secret, we find the brother in trouble as he's receiving various licks from a Chupacabra. We are authorized to hunt the monster, and we begin our very first combat section. In this combat sequence, I was able to mount the monster. And after completing the epic finale, we unlock the bigger they are. Additionally, I fired an SOS signal, which enables AI support hunters or real-life players to join in on the hunt. Through a series of regular attacks, I'm able to charge the spirit gauge. If I'm able to sustain my spirit attacks, the meter turns red to enable a spirit gauge level 3, which increases damage, speed, and access to a variety of different attacks. When the frog is slayed, we unlock Hunters United for completing a quest in multiplayer. Our guild support has set up camp within the Forbidden Lands, which enables us to witness a touching reunion between brother and sister. We outline how we're assisting Nata to find his people called the Keepers. Isai isn't aware of the Keepers, but hints that the elder of his village might know. At the conclusion of this cutscene, we unlock Windward Lands for completing the mission. Alma rallies the troops and outlines our two objectives. Firstly, we rescue the Keepers, and secondly, we locate the White Wraith that attacked the village. Nata doesn't recall which way he went to escape the village. As such, the team agree to split up and begin researching the uncharted Forbidden Lands. For now, we follow Isai back to his village. Meeting the village leader, Alma tries introducing herself before we shoot away, as it isn't a good time. Returning to base camp, Alma raises concern that the guild support team hasn't arrived to deliver the supplies required for camp. Just as this is mentioned, an SOS flare is fired. Beerus finds the support team being harassed by a Quay Matrix. After receiving guild authorization, we go chicken hunting. We make swift work of the monster, enabling us to fire up the grill. Returning to Asai's village, we're now able to enter and see the gem chimes which ward out the monsters. The feeling that the village is a safe haven is further demonstrated that the villagers have never actually seen a weapon before. Speaking to the elder of the village, she advises that she hasn't heard of the keepers before. As a way to regroup, we agree to head into a new area, the Scarlet Forest. Prior to departing, I kill another frog and then follow my fellow hunters. Doing this once unlocks newly forged bonds. Our next quest involves hunting another chicken that is on the path to the forest. We make quick work of the chicken, and because it was classified as an investigation quest type, we unlock the hunt is on. Making it now into the forest, the team set up their base of operations. In the forest, we take on Alala Barina, and once defeated, we navigate back to our pop-up camp, only to find out that it's been overrun by woodwads, the native inhabitants to the forest. We follow the woodwads to their home and speak to their leader, Plum Peach. Alma requests the camp to be returned to us, and in response,
"We no give back. We have claimed it as tribute."
Plum Peach then strikes a deal with the Hunters Guild. If we can deal with the ferocious monster, they will return our camp to us. This challenge will instill fear onto me. The Congalala, the absolute menace, is our target, and after the finishing blow, the woodwards grant us access to share the forest. It is at this point where the game grants us access to side missions. Speaking to Kanya, our first side task is to start our fishing adventure. After catching our first fish, we unlock angling for a bite, and after returning to Kanya, we unlock a step toward mutual understanding for completing our first side quest. Our investigation continues, which sees us encountering an alpha Doshagama. We observe the Doshagama pack travelling towards the Windward Plains. Warning the village of an impending attack, the village's elder gives us her blessing to attack the monsters. Hearing the commotion outside, a villager alerts us that the Doshagama are already here and attacking the village. To protect the village, we release the livestock to attract the Doshagama away from the residents. Thankfully, this was a success. We follow the pack outside the village and then lead the Alpha into the desert with an impending sandstorm. A truly mighty scene unfolds as the Doshagama are consumed by sand, and just when we think it's over, the Alpha bursts from the sand in a mighty uplift. We receive authorization from the guild to hunt the Alpha, and a mighty battle unfolds. While the Alpha was distracted, we perform our first sneak attack, unlocking Hunter Assassin. I then pull out my portable barbecue grill to whip up our very first meal. It certainly was a memorable dish, as was it a meal to remember unlocks. I then measure the Alpha with my binoculars and notice it has a large gold crown, signifying it is the largest size for the monster. A keen-eyed observation also unlocks for this special moment. Finally, once the monster is slayed, a giant crown unlocks for obtaining our first gold crown. Returning to the village, the elder thanks us for saving the village, and we are able to continue our investigations for the location of the keepers. One of the new mechanics in Monster Hunter Wilds is the pop-up camps. These are managed by the player and can act as a fast travel point in the region. After customizing one of the pop-up camps, Glamper unlocks. Following this saga, I look to upgrade my weapons and armor by hunting the Congalala. Wounds often appear on the monster after inflicting enough damage, enabling the hunter to deal a critical blow. Doing this 50 times unlocked Hit 'em Where It Hurts. Continuing the main story, we head deep into the forest and encounter an Uthduna, the apex predator of the region. This is truly a magnificent fight, as the beast possesses the ability to soar into the air and crash into whatever is below. It can also use the surrounding moisture and its body fluids to create a protective veil of water as a defense mechanism. which can be seen with the watery veiled fins and tail. The veil provides massive damage reduction from the hunter's attacks. By breaking these watery fins, Utduna will become more vulnerable to attacks. Once the veil is destroyed, you can't take the moment lightly, as the monster's attacks become faster and more aggressive. When the monster's health is low, it retreats deep into the blue water. On our way back to the camp, we'd find the monster getting destroyed by a mysterious creature. Nata confirms this is the White Wraith as it flies away. When regrouping, Alma suggests we visit the Woodwards to see if they have any information. Prior to departing, we unlock Shadow in the Downpour for completing the mission. Visiting our favourite feline friends, we see Plum Peach is rocking some pink Congalala fur. Damn! Unfortunately, Plum Peach hasn't seen the White Wraith. Not all is lost, as Zato appears from the village we helped earlier. He is travelling to a village among the oil springs for trading purposes, and we choose to accompany him. Making our way to the oil well basin, we are greeted by the leader, Dogard and Ida, chief of the Bone Folk. Speaking to Chief Yabran, he unfortunately hasn't heard of the Keepers before. He does propose a slight glimmer of hope in a guide named Maki. She might be able to help our investigation into tunnel networks to find the Keepers. However, she is heading into a monster's den as she is collecting auric oil for a fire spring festival. Navigating to where the oil is procured reveals a deadly poisonous monster, a Rompompolo. After landing the final critical blow on the monster, we find Maki hiding away, and thankfully all of the oil has been collected ready for the festival. The festival sees the Everforge being ignited, but for the very first time, the flame extinguishes. The drama continues to unfold, as Zato is summoned back to the village as another sandstorm is approaching. This is impossible given the circumstances that a sandstorm just occurred. Nata theorizes that the White Wraith is linked to the strange weather phenomenons, and as such, we agree to investigate. Nata is correct, as when we head to the heart of the storm, the apex of the region, a Raydal, is fighting the White Wraith. The White Wraith lands a critical blow on the apex predator and leaves the scene after absorbing its energy. The Raydal is the apex for a reason and won't be taken down that easily. Seeking retaliation for the defeat, the monster challenges us to a fight to the death. After landing a critical strike targeting a wound on the monster, we are able to take out the second apex of Monster Hunter Wilds. When reuniting with Gemma, we find a growth of the land spine which was observed earlier in the oil well basin. It has been noted that Wilk has been grown out of the damaged parts of the land spine. In the Kunafa village, Wilk is used for fire, and in the oil springs it has been used to stoke the Everforge. After the sandstorm dies down, the land spine loses its glow, and trusty Gemma believes the two are likely connected. The team agreed to report their theory back to Werner in the oil springs, but prior to leaving, I quickly customized my secret for the trophy Ride or Die companion. Reporting our findings to Werner, Satesh interrupts and says we can follow the land spine to a tunnel which Nata believes can be the passage to the Keepers. Exploring into the depths reveals extraordinary views, and unfortunately for Nata, the passage forward has been sealed with ice. When looking to establish camp, we find a Nursilla who is preparing to snack on the best character in the game.
Now death greets me with a new mask, or are you my salvation? So, what shall it be? Should I leave it to fate? I squirm, I struggle, ergo I am. Faced with death, I am finally, truly alive.
After downing the fierce spider monster, we speak to the Woodward, who is revealed to be Rove, who will act as our guide through this area. When exploring further, we discover we're in one large structure, which sparks questions of who exactly built it and what happened to the civilization that made it. We weren't the only ones admiring the view, as a group of Hirobami appear. This is where Rove asks the question:
Is it wiser to use a needle to fight, or to hide it in a haystack?
Hiding in the haystack!
Then follow me.
Rove directs us to a place where we can set up camp and wait out the danger. The gang then hang around the campfire, theorizing that the land spine is an artificial structure, like the place we're in currently, and was likely made by the same civilization. This makes the Wilk an artificial energy source that has the capabilities to alter the weather. Werner is currently repairing the land spine, with no telling what will happen when it is complete. When returning to the oil springs, Werner was successful in repairing the land spine, with no way to unrepair it, as the Fire Spring Festival is about to begin. The Everforge ignites successfully, however a grave consequence unfolds as an explosion causes two Azharakan to draw close to the village. After downing the monster, we find it is only just the beginning, as the monsters have infiltrated the village. That is, of course, until a tentacle monster reveals itself as the Black Flame. In order to prepare myself for the apex predator of the region, I needed to go down memory lane. A main staple in Monster Hunter games is the ability to cook steaks for increased buffs, and if you time the cook correctly, you can have a well done steak. For me, if you raise the steak just as it puffs out the steam, there's a bonus minigame that enables you to cut more steaks. Doing this for the first time unlocks, tasty. Bonus shout out to Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for including a collaboration with Monster Hunter that enables you to cook rations and hunt a Metal Gear monster. Fighting the Black Flame is truly an epic ordeal. When the monster is inflicted with enough damage, it can engulf itself with flames, which in turn makes a very yummy octopus at the end. Eventually, we're able to take down the Apex Predator, which restores the Everforge, and we're able to finally see the Fire Spring Festival.
It's among the best we've made.
Our reward is unlocking Guardians of the Forge for completing the questline. When resting, we receive good news that the ice has melted from the recent events that have occurred. This is the moment where we unlock a new region, the Ice Shard Cliffs. Before we're able to explore, some Guardian Deshagama collide, interrupting the scenery. The Guardian variants are able to leave pools of Wilk from their attacks, as well as being able to draw energy. As we land the finishing blows, we will need to be prepared for these variants in this region. Nata then pushes forward, finding the entrance to the Keeper's village. This is where we are able to finally see the reunion with Tashin. The reunion is short-lived, as a Guardian Rathalos decides to crash the party. A Rathalos is considered one of the most iconic monsters in Monster Hunter, and considered the mascot of the series, as it has appeared on the cover of the original Monster Hunter Freedom, and Monster Hunter World.
Did you really call me a traitor? The same as you?
Ultimately, the fight boiled down to the same old tactics. This is, of course, until I died. After the epic battle, we finally land the killing blow on the Rathalos. Tashin gives us a tour of the Keeper's home and explains that there used to be an ancient city named Wyveria, and the structure we saw earlier is what remains of the Outer Bailey. The people of Wyveria had access to limitless energy, which saw them become an advanced civilization. Unfortunately, Wyveria fell a millennium ago, and has been lost to time except for remnants that remain today, such as Wilk. Alma asks who exactly are the Keepers, and we find out that Keepers are descendants of those who have studied the limitless energy, for the purpose of restoring Wyveria to an era of prosperity. The gang is understandably intrigued with these revelations. Tashin then corrects our understanding that Wilk is actually called Wyvern Milk.
Milk.
The Wyvern Milk is produced at the heart of Wyveria, as deep underground there is a shrine called the Dragon Torch. The Dragon Torch is shrouded in mystery, and it will be our job to uncover its secrets. Tashin will then take us to the resting place, a sacred land that will hold answers to our questions. But before we depart, Tashin informs us the White Wraith that attacked the village is a guardian by the name of Arkveld. An Arkveld has been an extinct species, and the term Guardian has been used for monsters that serve the people. This reveals the ancient secret that the Keepers have been able to manufacture monsters in the resting place for the purpose of helping Wyveria. To assist in this purpose, Guardians don't eat and instead receive their substance from wyvern milk. Thus, they have no predator habits. Secondly, they live indefinitely as long as they have access to wyvern milk. And finally, Guardians were modelled off of existing monsters to enhance their baseline traits. This creates a theory that Arkveld was selected due to it being an extinct species. Tashin then explains that Nata's pendant has a very unique function. But before we're able to find out what its purpose is, Guardians begin to be awakened around us, and Guardian Arkveld suddenly appears amongst the commotion. Something has went terribly wrong with the Arkveld as he begins to eat the other Guardians around it. This is where we are called into action. However, the battle is short-lived, as after we deal enough damage, a cutscene triggers which sees the Arkveld fly off. Tashin advises that this situation has never occurred before, and he's not sure how to approach it. He remembers that the Orharken, who is an advisor to the Keepers, would know more. She lives in a village that is blocked by a blizzard and a giant monster. This path that we lead sees us reunited with Rove. He helps us show us the way that we need to go by dropping the hardest line in the game.
There. That way. Straight on to the end. The path is self-evident.
We immediately set off while the monster is away. That is until the apex predator of the Ice Shard Cliffs, Jindahud, appears to try and take us down. The Jindahud uses its enormous body as a living heat exchanger, being able to push heat to the metallic plates all over its body. This is to enable the apex monster to drastically lower both its internal body temperature and that of its surroundings. Most punishingly, Jindahud has an ultimate move that you can block by hiding behind ice, but my first time facing this ended in turmoil. Thankfully, we were able to bounce back, and after the apex sustains enough damage, we use the environment to spring a trap and make a break for it. Where we find ourselves is Suja, and it has the most cutest character in the game, a Poogie. Once we get over the cuteness, we're able to meet the Orharken. She explains that the people of Wyveria created the Dragonforge to gain mastery over energy. The pinnacle of their power was creating Guardians to do their bidding. The people of Wyveria self-destructed, and the Guardians were left in a period of stasis. That is, of course, until Arkveld woke up. Sadly, the Orharken doesn't know what will happen with Arkveld. As such, we begin our quest deep below the capital of the Keepers to search for answers. We discover hidden in the depths that the Arkveld has gone berserk, so much so that it can no longer control itself. To protect the ecosystem, we receive guild authorization to hunt the Arkveld, and this sets Nata into a frenzy. This fight will be our biggest challenge yet. Using its clawed wings, which have huge armored-like chains, the monster can land devastating blows. Additionally, if you're not careful, the Arkveld can use a grab attack, which sees us being smashed. Thankfully, in the end, we will crown the victor. Nata then has a moment with the monster, seemingly ending the conflict for good. That is, of course, until Beerus asks a very good question. Why did the Arkveld travel so far below the capital? This question leads us to explore the depths and discover an entombed guardian. What we discovered was the Dragon Torch, which has been taken over by Xochitl, the guardian created by Wyveria as their last line of defense and ultimately caused the downfall of the Wyverian civilization. As Xochitl is feasting the energy off of the Dragon Torch, if we deactivate its supply, Xochitl would perish. However, this will make the energy across the Eastlands unstable and lead to dire consequences. At this moment, the purpose of Nata's pendant is revealed, to be the emergency failsafe of the Dragon Torch and will be able to deactivate it. Returning to Soshia's tomb, Nata steps up to the plate with the weight of all of the Eastlands on his shoulder. This is where we step up to share the burden and offer an alternative option. Noting the Hunters Guild won't authorize a hunt, the coolest moment in Monster Hunter Wilds occurs.
By my own order. I will slay Zoshia.
And so it begins. The only hunt started by the hunter, given by their own authorization. As more of Zoshia's crystal shell is destroyed, the body mutates drastically into a horrific black demon-like appearance. The head and jaw grow larger, with visual deformities appearing with countless black demon horns sprouting all over its body. Thankfully, we were able to slay the monster, saving all of the Eastlands. The credits then roll, concluding the main story of Monster Hunter Wilds. This unlocks Bringer of Harmony. The guild still has plans for the Eastlands, as Fabius himself joins the hunt. The first task is to capture a Yian Cuckoo alive. In order to capture a monster, you need to get the monster weak enough until you observe a skull that appears on the minimap. This represents the monster is below 20% health and can be captured by placing a trap and then using trank bombs when the monster is engulfed in the trap. As a reward, new ecosystems unlock once we return to camp. It's at this point where the game starts opening up to us, enabling us to conquer much more side quests, and the remaining main story quests are relating to teaching us the endgame content. To make traveling easier during the stage, I established 20 pop-up camps, unlocking Camp Master. The next trophy I work towards is catching whoppers. By the large lake campsite in the Scarlet Forest area, I would frequently rest, changing the environment to plenty and morning, enabling me to repeatedly farm the whopper fish for the next 2 to 3 hours. Once 30 whoppers are caught, Fissionado unlocks. Next up, I caught a creature that bears an ancient wyvern coin, unlocking a prize held high. I then caught a creature in the desert that shines like a shooting star. This unlocks I caught a shooting star. Returning to the large lake, I achieved our final fishing related trophy by catching a whopper squid, which unlocks Monster Squid Hunter. The next main story quest sees an awakening of a T-Rex. In the end, I captured the monster, and when returning to camp, we unlocked a bitter environment. I then returned to hunting to raise my Monster Hunter level and unlocking the next main story quest. In my first investigation, there was a mini Doshaguma, and after a fierce and close battle, the mini Doshaguma goes down for the count. This unlocks Let the Investigation Begins for completing the first investigation, and we unlocked the miniature crown hunting for obtaining my first miniature crown in the hunting log. While exploring, I find a gold crown Nursilla, and after downing the monster, I unlocked True Hunter is Never Satisfied for completing 50 quests. For our next main story quest, we speak to Fabius, who's dripped in his new armor. This clicks, as Fabius is the Ace Lancer from Monster Hunter 4, and he has some unfinished business with Gore Magala. This moment is just pure epicness, which reminds me of a similar moment.
Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world! My soldiers push forward! My soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
Filled with inspiration, we are able to tackle Gore Magala, a demi-elder dragon, head on. Thankfully, we're able to quickly slay the beast. The reward for completing the quest is unlocking Beyond the Black Wings. Our final mission involves taking down another Arkveld, which has went rogue by taking down each of the region's apex monsters. After we see a raid Dao get destroyed by the Arkveld, it falls to us to yet again slay the monster. Our reward is unlocking one corner of the world. Now officially in the endgame, the only monster we haven't hunted is a Gypceros. And after making quick work of the monster, we come away unlocking Monster PhD. Now we approach the infamous crown hunt that the monster games are known for. Monster Hunter World is a 300-hour platinum, and Monster Hunter Wild Iceborne is equally also a 300-hour platinum. Typically, we would have to keep resting and visit the monster to see if it is a miniature or big crown, but Monster Hunter Wilds makes the grind significantly easier. The first is that you are able to use your binoculars to instantly see if the monster has a crown. And secondly, you are able to save the crown as an investigation to enable you to give the crown to other players. For my hunting experience, I was added to an awesome Monster Hunter Wilds crown hunting group that would all work collectively to enable each player to quickly get their crowns done. After acquiring my 10th large crown, I unlocked Giant Crown Collector. Similarly, after acquiring my 10th mini crown, I unlocked Miniature Crown Hunting. I then returned to Gemma to upgrade my equipment, and with the revelation made earlier with Fabius, it clicks that Gemma is Little Miss Forge from the same game. With her assistance, I was able to forge 5 different pieces of armor with rarity 7 or higher, unlocking Impregnable Defense. I returned to hunting, and after taking down a miniature Rathian, it marked our 100th monster slayed, unlocking Monster Slayer. After many hours, the final large crown I needed was from a familiar foe. Once the Congalala is captured, Giant Crown Hunter unlocks. On one of my saved investigations to help my comrades, I captured a monster which marked the 50th monster captured, unlocking Capture Pro. For completing 100 missions in online multiplayer, I also unlocked Hunters United Forever. Then, while looking for the scarce mini crowns, I was able to unlock East to West, a Hunter Never Rests, for completing 30 different side missions. Additionally, I returned to Gemma, who assisted in forging 5 different weapons with rarity 7 or higher, unlocking Power is Everything. And finally, I crafted an Artian weapon of rarity 8, unlocking a Legacy Restored. After many hours of searching, the final mini crown was in sight. I don't think I could have taken down the monster any quicker, as when I reached the reward screen, Miniature Crown Master unlocked. To cement this occasion, I viewed the hunter profiles of my comrades who helped me, and after viewing 30 different profiles, Gossip Hunter unlocks. Our next trophy comes when collecting 10 different special items of rarity 6. These items often appear under the emergence notification, which appears on the map. And as foreshadowed earlier, after collecting my 10th item, Explorer of the Eastland unlocks. Very shortly after, I unlocked Bourgeoisie Hunter for holding over 1 million zenny. I also kept on farming out the frog to increase the amount of hunts I did with Beerus. I averaged less than 90 seconds per hunt, so we were very efficient. Someone worth following unlocked when we completed 100 hunts together. Our next challenge relates to hunting 50 apex monsters. For me, my target is Ray Dow, as I sought revenge from a moment earlier in the game, where the monster killed me while I was just trying to have a simple meal. I started settling into farming the beast, and on one of my hunts, something really sus occurred. Once we got past that strangeness, we unlocked Seasoned Hunter for hunting 50 tempered monsters. After taking down more Raydals, Established Hunter unlocks for reaching Hunter rank 100. And just 13 minutes later, my 50th apex monster was taken down, unlocking Top of the Food Chain and the Platinum Eastwood Wings for obtaining all other trophies. From humble beginnings to legendary status, we've carved our place into the world of Monster Hunter Wilds. This Platinum Trophy represents not just the accumulation of the game, but a testament to the enduring spirit of the entire Monster Hunter series. The challenges we've faced, the monsters we've conquered, and the friendship we've forged. These are the hallmarks of a true hunter. And though this chapter may close, the hunt never truly ends. So until next time, keep your weapons sharp, your trophies shining, and never stop exploring. Thanks so much for watching.